Hey guys, Adam here with AmericanTrucks.com, and today we're taking a closer look at installing and dyno testing the Bully Dog BDX tuner and its preloaded tunes available for the 2015 and newer 3.5 liter EcoBoost F150, excluding the Raptor models. Now before we jump into the details of the preloaded tune and the device features itself, what do you say we head on over to the dyno graph to take a look at our results? We strapped our 17.3.5 F150 to the dyno, and while it is a 10-speed and 7th gear is the 1-to-1 gear ratio, we pulled it in 5th to avoid hitting our speed limiter. It's also worth noting it has 35-inch tires and 93 octane in the tank. On our stock tune, we walked away with 288 horsepower, 364 pound-feet of torque at the rear wheels. We then uploaded our preloaded BDX tune, modifying it to fit 93 octane and our 35-inch tires. Walked away with 372 horsepower and 425 pound-feet of torque at the rear wheels. That's good for peak gains of 84 horsepower and 61 torque at the tires. Those numbers alone are really impressive from a simple preloaded tune, but the curve gains look even better. And as a matter of fact, they blew away my expectations for sure. Under the curve, we're seeing gains of as much as 126 horsepower and 118 pound-feet of torque at the rear wheels. Now we're seeing those gains a little bit more at the high end of the RPM band, around 5,500, 5,600 RPMs, but we're seeing really linear, solid, consistent torque curve across the entire RPM band. Guys, this is a really effective preloaded tune on our 17 here. It's definitely gonna make for something that's gonna change the driving experience drastically. The Bully Dog BDX tuner is very similar in design and features to the Rev X, but it does have some key feature differences. The Bully Dog tuner here is going to be available for the EcoBoost F150 owners looking for an easy-to-use preloaded or canned tuner, not something that goes as in-depth or as expensive as a custom tune. So that's really going to be your big difference with the BDX option here. Now, as you saw from our results on the dyno, a preloaded tune from BDX here in this device actually is really effective. Now, we were changing within that preloaded tune the octane fuel, changing it to 93 octane to maximize performance, and we change our tire size to both correct our speedometer, which can be off depending on the size of your tires, and of course factor that into the tune to make the most power out of our truck. Now, the tune itself is of course going to factor in throttle response and acceleration. It's changing your drive-by-wire delay to make you feel like you're getting off the line a lot easier, and it's taking a number of other things into consideration, but mainly changing those key features that we just mentioned. Now, the tuner itself comes with a number of other features to take advantage of as well. You can look at the gauges and data log screen to monitor live engine vitals on the fly within arm's reach of the driver's seat. You can monitor things like coolant temp, air intake temp, boost, and PSI for our EcoBoost turbo guys. You can also track air-fuel ratio, speedometer, RPM gauge. You can change a number of those parameters to fit your personal preference as well. You can track up to 8 of those at once with those personalized gauge screens. Now, that can be tracked in portrait mode and in landscape mode, and if you have a gauge mount or a windshield mount, something like that, you can mount this guy within arm's reach, which goes a long way as well. You can record your vehicle's performance using the data log feature within that gauge screen as well. The DTC code reader is built in, so anytime your check engine light comes on or the diagnostic trouble code reader, you can plug this guy in, read the code, get a description, and clear it right there on the device. It also has built-in Wi-Fi capabilities for wireless updating of both software and firmware versions, and you have cloud access as well to send and receive stock files without needing to be plugged into a laptop. You can also send and receive data log files as well as custom tunes. Now, while the BDX tuner does use preloaded tunes out of the box, it can hold up to 10 custom tunes in the device. So if in the future you wanted to work with a tuner of your choice, you can load those guys right onto your BDX tuner using the cloud. The device itself is coming in right around $400, and the install gets 1 out of 3 wrenches on our difficulty meter. Anybody can tackle this in the driveway at home with about 20 to 30 minutes from start to finish. Now, I'm going to walk you through all of the features of the device, but we're going to start with how to tune your vehicle. We're going to look at the preloaded tune and change parameters like the octane and your tire size. So what do you say we get to it? All right, guys, once you have your BDX device plugged into the OBD2 port, make sure the key is in the on position, but don't start your engine. From here, what we're going to do is jump right into tuning the vehicle using that preloaded tune for our 3.5. So we're going to select Program Vehicle from the main menu. Confirm your VIN. And if your device needs updates, so if it's the first time out of the box and you're just turning it on, you want to hit Continue on this to do any updates that need to be done to this device before you get started. Otherwise, you might get a couple of error messages. You want to be on the latest software. So we've already taken care of that, so we're going to hit Skip. Keep in mind that that will require a Wi-Fi network access, so make sure you're connected to Wi-Fi, and it'll ask you for that once you hit Continue. Cloud Sync. So, of course, we're focusing on that preloaded tune on the BDX, but if you're using Custom tunes you may have loaded on the BDX device. You might have them on the cloud. You can hit continue to sync them from the cloud to your device, but again, using the preloaded, we're gonna hit skip. There's just a street use notice, hit continue on that, make sure the key is on like I said, and it'll move forward. All right, so if you're using a custom tune, it'll be down here. We're gonna focus on that 3.5 preloaded tune, which is going to modify some of our parameters to really maximize that performance. So from here, if you want to make any customizations or changes to the tune itself, you can do so now. We're going to keep that the same, but I want to show you guys what those changes would be. Here are some of those configurations. Fuel octane is listed as stock, so what we are going to do is change that to 93 octane. There's a speed limiter, rev limiter, all that good stuff. What we are going to change is the octane. Change that over to 93, select approve. All right, from here we can continue. It's gonna load our stock tune to the device and save that. So if we ever wanna revert back to stock, it'll have that here and we can easily do that following the same process. From here, it'll go right into writing our tune. All right, so at this point it's telling us turn the key off and then just wait, back on. All right, programming complete. You can hit done. It'll take you back to the main menu. You can unplug and you're good to go. Now, aside from program vehicle, we have a couple other functions I want to go through with the device. Now, under that is gauges and data log. So if you select that, make sure the key is on, hit continue, you'll be able to track live engine vitals and data log your vehicle's performance. So what you want to do first is select the proper configuration. So it starts with a baseline, almost template for the configuration. So we're using a 2017 EcoBoost. So what we want to do is go down to find Ford Gas 08 and newer. So 2008 vehicles and newer. We're going to press continue on that and it'll upload that configuration, download the diagnostics from the vehicle and show us that in real time. So we have control module voltage. You can see boost in PSI, car's not on, so we're not gonna have anything to read there. But if I wanted to change control module voltage, we can select it, select item, say we wanna track air intake temp. Select that, hit approve. Now that'll take you and change that gauge. Now from here, if you wanna monitor up to the maximum amount of gauges at the same time, you'll select gauge layout here from the menu, and you have a bunch of different options. You can even rotate it to be landscape instead of portrait. Now, if we want to change that to monitor up to 8 at once, we have now 8 gauges, and you can select those individually. You get abbreviated words, so air intake temperature, things like that. Boost is still top left. So as you can see, there's a lot you can really do with that. Now, you can also start recording this data. So if you're using a custom tuner, you have a new tune, you want to make revisions, you can download, you can data log, download that data log, send it to your tuner, make revisions. There's a lot of useful information that you can take advantage of here. Now, just go back to the main menu, you'll just hit stop data log. Under that, vehicle functions. You can read and clear DTC codes or diagnostic trouble codes. So check engine light comes on, you can plug this in, read it, get a description, get the code. Once it's taken care of, you can clear it so the check engine light goes away. So that's a good function to have. You don't need a separate tuner for that, separate device, don't need to go to an auto parts store. Special function, something most people won't use, cam relearn, don't have to worry about that. We're gonna go right back to the main menu. Vehicle info is going to be things like your VIN number, your ECU strategy code, all of useful information for you to have when you're requesting new custom tunes. Your tuner will definitely need that info, so that's good to have right here on hand. Under that, device info, this is things like your app name, part number, serial number, firmware and software versions, how many unlocks you have left, your paired status, things like that. So hit exit. Finally, device updates. Check for updates and Wi-Fi go hand in hand. Those you can use to get wireless updates, software updates, firmware updates from SCT. You can also search the cloud for new tunes. If your tuner puts that on the cloud, you can download it here. You can upload your data log to the cloud for your tuner to access. You can upload your stock file to the cloud as well. Other things would be very simple device changes. You can change the brightness, orientation from portrait to landscape. You can change the color from, say, light blue to dark blue. Changes the white to black. You can also go dark red. There's a bunch of different options, light red. We're gonna stick to the light blue though. Under that, you can change startup function. So this is, I think, the last important thing to talk about here. If you boot up your device, you plug your device in, you can have it set that it automatically defaults to the gauges and data log screen. So basically, if you have this plugged in at all times and have it mounted on a windshield, which you can do, you can basically have every time you turn the car on, it turns on immediately, goes right to gauges. So I think that's a pretty useful feature for guys who want to use that every day. From there, you can hit exit, take you right back to the main menu, and that's your device. Well guys, that's gonna wrap up my review, install, and dyno test of the BullyDog BDX tuner, available for the 2015 and newer 3.5 liter EcoBoost F150, excluding the Raptor model. And if you wanna get it for yourself, you can do so right here at AmericanTrucks.com.